How are we doing today? Hello, hello, hello. Man, I've only been on for 7 seconds and someone has already liked my video. I like that. Whoever liked it, that's pretty good stuff. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you please add your name to the comments list so I can make sure I'm taking attendance properly. Ava, good to see you. You're the only one on Instagram. Be proud. Right. So it's good to see everybody logging on, right? I see people popping on here and there, slowly starting to come on. Today, we are going to be in Proverbs 17, verses 27 and 28. Proverbs 17, 27 and 28. We're also going to be in 2 Kings chapter 2, but I'll read that one. Y'all don't have to worry about that. I'll make sure I explain the story thoroughly. So I see Lillian Riley is logged on YouTube. Dawson Bowe, hello on Instagram. How are y'all doing? So today I've labeled this list. Last week we talked about, think about what you're posting before you post it, right? This is kind of building off of that topic. It's building off of that thought of think about it, what you're doing before you post it, right? A lot of it could be pictures. A lot of it could be videos of nonsense, right? It doesn't even have to be you, but you could be posting something on Instagram or posting something on Facebook that doesn't resemble Christ or that Christ-like mission or that mindset that we have, right? So today we're going to talk about the words we choose, right? And this doesn't just go for social media. Yeah, it's been more of a social media for the next 28 days whenever it's we open back up. I don't know, whenever Pastor Martin says, hey, we can start coming in, I don't know when they're going to be able to have youth, right? So, but as we're thinking about this and we're talking through social media, through text messaging, through emails, and y'all don't even know what email is, right? But as we're talking through emails, y'all think about what you're saying, right? So choose your words wisely. And that's what I'm going to build off of today. So, social media, we bring in this whole thought process of how we communicate a lot through social media, but we don't really communicate a lot, right? When I'm talking an interaction between everybody, right, and I'm at school and I'm interacting with 120 different students and I'm reading students' body language, I'm trying to see, all right, this student seems upset, they're a little tense right now, or this student's straight up lying to me. I can read it in their face, right? I look at body language, but it's so much easier to lie or for me, as I'm talking on here and I can bring things up from the past and I can mention people's names, right? As I'm mentioning their names, I don't really have to worry about their feelings or worry about this, that, or the other, right? It's just out of control. So, and that's what social media, when it comes to the communicating, that we miss. We miss the whole social cues, the body language. We miss the temperament of the message, right? I could send a text message and you not realize that I'm mad, but I could be really, really angry. You miss that in that body language, right? And you miss the facial expression, right? I could say something sarcastic and you take it serious. And I'm a very sarcastic person. A lot of y'all probably don't even take my text messages serious because that's who I am as a person. So it's hard for me to get across as me being angry or mad or something like that through my messages. So it's really hard to read the type of person that I am through a message, through social media, unless even when I'm here, I could say something sarcastic and have a serious face, and you're like, oh, he looks really angry. I don't know what to expect here, or blah, blah, blah. So, so as we're building, choose your words wisely, right? We may be treating people poorly. We may treat people poorly and not really realize we're treating people poorly. A lot of times, right? Especially with me and Brittany, I still do it sometimes. I'm not very good at it. But she can send me a message and I automatically think she might be mad at me. I misread the message. And she was just trying to have a discussion and she wasn't trying to jump onto me. But the way I read it was, man, she's mad at me. She's jumping onto me. I didn't do nothing. What did I do, right? So it goes both ways. Not only can you as a person not really get your social interaction across, but the person receiving it could also be receiving it the wrong way. So choose your words wisely. Choose your words wisely. And I realize this, I'm a very vocal person. Most of y'all an instigator. I tend to, I enjoy discussion, the argument type of discussion. I'm not going to get in a yelling match with people. I'm not going to let people get in a yelling match with each other over something I've said. But at the same time, I like good discussions, and there's a difference. But once you start to see anger and you start to see this hate or upset, sadness, we got to be able to control that. We got to be able to see and how to read that. And it probably took me, I was 24, 25 years old until I was able to fully understand this whole thought of choose my words wisely. The things that I say are going to affect other people. That I say are going to not just hurt me, but it could hurt the other person's family or it could hurt the other person's friends, right? So, I was in the military and this thought came up to me. My NCO corrected me. It was a correction, right? And he taught me the fool versus the wise man. Not everything needs to be said. Not everything needs to be argued, right? Not everything has to have a comment. I moved back last year, right? And somebody posted an argument about abortion. I know what my views are. And I sat and I argued with somebody for a solid hour on how my views were right. And I was like, there's no getting through to these people. I'm done. I quit. Right? And when I stopped arguing, the other person kept going. Kept commenting on the last comment that I said, right? And it was like, let her get the last word or let him get the last word. I don't remember who it was. I just remember arguing. I just quit, right? And it like I said, it took me, and I still have trouble with this. There's a lot of times that I want to get the last word. It's inside of me to get the last word, but I don't need to. And my NCO taught me this. My NCO, every August we go through the book of Proverbs, right? And he had read this proverb and he had taught it to me. So I don't argue. And at this point, I was arguing with my bosses. So I'm not arguing with my bosses. And I wasn't arguing disrespectfully, don't get me wrong. But I was trying to give my opinion of why I was right. And this is what he told me. So we're in Proverbs, for those who logged on a little bit late, Proverbs 17, verses 27 and 28. Proverbs 17, verses 27 and 28. The one who has knowledge restrains his words. The one who keeps a cool head is a person of understanding. Even a fool, this is the main verse, verse 28. Even a fool is considered wise when he keeps silent, discerning when he seals his lips. The one who has knowledge restrains his words. The one who keeps a cool spirit or a cool head is a person of understanding. Even a fool is considered wise when he keeps silent, discerning when he seals his lips. There might be an argument going on at the dinner table between your parents, or I remember going home for Thanksgiving or being at a Thanksgiving dinner one time. They were arguing, right? And it was just best for me to sit there and just listen. And this side had good points. This side had good points. But they were essentially arguing the same thing. It was just, why is this better than this? Insurance, I don't know what it was about, right? I don't even remember. But what I do remember is the ones who sat there quietly just listening are like, why are they arguing? This is kind of foolish. All right? And in the military, I learned that, right? I learned in the military, your bosses, your parents, they're going to give you things to do that make absolutely no sense, right? I try to have a purpose behind everything I tell somebody to do, whether it be a student, my kids, right? There's generally a reason behind it, but there's times where your parents have just got to say, go do this, go do that. And when you go do this and you go do that, and you're like, well, that don't make sense. Why am I doing it this way? Right? If I gave you scissors to go outside and cut the grass when there's a perfectly working lawnmower right here to the side, why don't you use the lawnmower? Right? And there's times in the military where I've had to go and I've had to do something, and I knew it was a bad idea. I knew it wasn't going to work, but I had to go do it, right? Because and then when I came back and I was like, sir, this ain't going to work. Sir, come out here. Let me show you why this ain't working. And I brought him out there, and he understood. And he's like, well, what do you think we should do? And I was like, well, we should do X, Y, and Z. You know, I didn't argue my point. I did what I was told. As long as it wasn't illegal, unmoral, or unethical, I went out there and I did the job. And if it didn't work, I came back and I looked smarter for that purpose. My chaplains had a great respect for a lot of the things that I did, not because I knew everything, but because I was willing to learn. So let's get back to social media. How does this work with social media? Well, I've already hit up a lot of the topics, right? You missed those social cues. You missed the whole the body language in a person saying, right? So when you're getting ready to message this, or you're getting ready to type a mean message, right? Or you're getting ready to make a mean comment, a mean TikTok, a mean YouTube channel, right? Just making fun of somebody. Before you go and do that, think about, would I say this to that person's face? Would I go and would I actually say this to their face? If the stranger was standing in front of you. Now, some of y'all, I work in a middle school. I understand that y'all really don't care what the other person feels. I totally get that. But you also have to keep in mind that Christ-like demeanor. This might be your enemy. You might just absolutely hate this person. But are you willing to lose that Christ-like image through this message? Are you willing to lose? And not only that, remember what I said last week, what you're going to post and what you're going to say is too easy to be screenshotted and sent all over the world. So you might feel bad about it and try to delete it. It's too late. It takes a mere second to take a picture now. Snapchat, Instagram, all those disappearing messages. You could send the wrong message and it get into the wrong hands real quick. So are you willing? Are you going to say this to this person's face when it comes to it? There was a quote I read earlier this week when I was studying this message, right? It says, control of speech is the prime mark of wisdom and understanding. Those who have mastered this art possesses a calm or a cool spirit, a calm spirit or a cool spirit. This ain't something that's going to happen overnight. This ain't something that you're going to be able to wake up tomorrow and be perfectly good at. But what you need to, if you work on this, you come to master this skill. Do you think Steph Curry was always good at basketball, even in youth club? He probably missed a lot of shots. LeBron missed a lot of shots. All right, Babe Ruth, he didn't hit a home run every time it went up. He struck out, right? But they worked on their art. They worked on their ability and they worked on this ability that they've been given, and this gift, the word I was looking for. They've been working on this gift that they've been given, and they've mastered this gift. So the control of speech is a prime mark of wisdom and understanding. Those who have mastered this art possesses a calm or a cool spirit. No steam or smoke obscures their speech. They say what they mean, and they mean what they say. No steam or smoke. So once you've mastered this ability to sit back, read what's going on, you're thinking about the body language, you're thinking about what you're saying, right? Once you're able to master that and not just automatically, first thing comes to mind, it's got to come out. once you slow down and you understand that, you lose that fog in between. It takes practice. I still have it, right? I was last year 27 years old, and I'm still arguing on social media about a topic, right? That, live by example. I looked foolish as I was talking, even though there's a lot of people that agree with the stance that I was taking. I looked foolish as I sat there and argued. And that image inside of me, even though I felt like I was doing right, I was trying to tell that person on Facebook why my opinion's better. I was just trying to ignore and push away everything that they were saying. Not only is it wise to control what you say, but other people consider you wise as well. Right? And that's that. Not only is it wise to control what you say, but other people consider you wise as well. So as I flip over to 2 Kings chapter 2, right? And I'm just going to give you a real quick story. This is Elijah and Elijah. Elijah, S-H-A, Elijah, J-A-H. Right? So as this was becoming the end of times for Elijah, from the beginning, Adam and Eve, they sinned. We were brought in death. So Elijah was one of the few people who did not experience death. All right, so chapter 2, it starts off, the time had come for the Lord to take Elijah up to the whirlwind, up to heaven in a whirlwind. Elijah was traveling with Elijah. All right. Verse 2, and Elijah said to Elijah, stay here. The Lord is sending me to Bethel. And Elijah replied, as the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, I will not leave you. So they both went to Bethel. In verse 3, the main point right here. And then the sons of the prophets who were at Bethel. So these were the sons of the prophets in Bethel. It wasn't like Elijah or Elijah's son. It was these prophets there. So then the sons of the prophets who were at Bethel came out to Elijah and said, do you know that the Lord will take your master away from you today? Elijah was Elijah's master. And Elijah said, he responded, yes, I know. Be quiet. Right? Somebody's going to come to you, and it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen when we're able to get out and interact with people. Right? There's going to be people you don't have to respond to. I get it. Okay. I totally understand. I could take this lesson for my own. Right? Right. I got things going on in my head right now, and I just need to sit back, and I just need to accept things the way that they're being portrayed and being sent out. Right. And when I fully grasp that, as I slow down and I accept what's going on and I think about it, I'm like, they did all they could. Right. They're just as stressed out as I am. They don't need to send that message. They don't need to make that phone call. They don't need to post this on social media. All right. So at the end of, as you continue to read through 2 Kings, Elijah, they go to two different places. Elijah never leaves them. Elijah asked Elijah, what's something I can do? And, he says, I want this. And Elijah responds, if you see me taken from you, you will receive that gift. And sure enough, Elijah was taking from Elijah on a fiery chariot into heaven. So Elijah gained a lot of wisdom. A lot of people saw him, and he didn't want to talk about what was getting ready to come. He didn't want to talk about what was going to happen. He didn't want to discuss it. He didn't want to post about it, right? He didn't want to pull out his tablet and, post what was getting ready to happen. He didn't need to talk about it. Sometimes we don't need to talk about it. Sometimes we don't need to say or give out our opinions or our ideas, right? Treating others kindly through all means of technology is important. all means of technology, not just social media, not just Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, everything's out there, Snapchat, right? But through text message. You don't have to send that text message. That phone call, you ain't got to make it. No matter how many somebody wants you to make it, you don't have to make it. You don't have to post about it. You don't have to send that email. Right? And I say that because this is what happens, right? This is what happens. Do you know somebody, family, friends, or have you heard of, or if you haven't, think about it. You've been in a relationship with a person, or this person's been in a relationship with another person for 3 or 4 years. And one person types in a text message, I'm breaking up with you, you're done. Have you ever thought about that? Has that ever happened to you? Don't answer that. I don't want everybody saying it, right? If you need to text me. Make sure it's just me. Has that ever happened? Have you ever thought about that? Has that happened to a friend? And when that happens, how do you view the person who broke up with you? You or them? We're in a relationship for 4 or 5 years. How are you going to break up with me through a text message? Right? Stories like this, in the military, it's called a Dear John letter. You've been deployed for 12, 14, 16 months, and you don't know what's going on back home. You're fighting on the front lines, or you're deployed, right? And the big fear is, what's going on? What, did my wife leave me? Did my girlfriend leave? Right? What's going on with my parents? Right? Some people, and it's happened. There's a whole movie about it. I think Channing Tatum was the star. It's called Dear John, and they received a letter, Dear John. And, it was a I'm breaking up with you letter. Received it through a letter. How does that portray that person? Now, the military is a little different. You don't get to just talk to them whenever you want, right? But for us now, in our scenarios, in our situations, if you got broken up with through a text message or through an email, how do you view that other person? Probably shows a lack of courage, a lack of faith. Or, it shows how little of character that person might have. So, relationships are different. Sometimes you've got, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to break up with them. But, there's different ways of going about doing it. And I totally get that. That's a special scenario. But that is also another scenario. If you've been dating someone for a long period of time and they break up with you through a text message, like, posting your opinions on Facebook shows a lack of courage. Because, for one, they can't read your social, they can't read your body language, your facial expressions. They miss the social cues. All right. Yeah, you might be trying to be big, bad, and bold, but, it shows your character. And you don't want people misreading your character, because we should all be trying to glorify God's kingdom with everything that we do. So I hope y'all got something out of today's message. Like I said, choose your words wisely. Sunday, I plan on going live on Instagram and YouTube. So make sure we log in. I hope to see everybody. Jude, wake up. Somebody make sure you call Jude on Sunday and get him up for the message, right? Every one of y'all can call him. I don't care, but he needs to wake up for this message. But I love y'all. I care about y'all. I have been planning a summer trip. So as we pray, everyone pray for this to be over so we can actually go out and celebrate with each other and thank our 8th graders, Lily, Ava, Jude, Bo. Hey, Jude is on. He's not been saying his name. I like Jude. Jude's a funny guy. Jude, Pierce, all y'all that have been logging on and y'all have been here for with me for this whole year. Y'all are my first group. I want to say thank you. So I pray that as we get off of here and we get out of this whole lockup, right? Because I got something big in my head. I got another retreat lock in. I hope y'all are able to come. So Jude's funny, not you, Zach. Zach, you're not invited. I'm just kidding. I love y'all. So let's pray. Let's get out of here. And I will see y'all on Sunday. Zach, you need to wake up too. Let's be real. You haven't been logging on. Your brother's logged on and you haven't. So I'm jumping on to you as well. Let us pray. Lord, I just want to thank you for all the many blessings you pour upon us, Lord. And as they all have prayer requests, Lord, and they all have things going on in their lives, I pray that you answer those to the will of your kingdom, Lord. And I pray that as we go out and we start to do things and everything starts to slowly be lifted, as we continue to be safe and we continue to be smart as we do things. But I pray that we are ending this pandemic, Lord. I pray that you continue to be a hedge of protection around us, around our families, around our friends, around our community. And I pray that you be with the leaders as they're trying to make decisions on how to open, what we're going to do, and changes that are coming. We don't know what's new and what the new normal is going to be, Lord. But we know one thing for a fact, and that is you are in control. Lord, I thank you for all the many blessings you pour upon us. I love you. We care about you. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen. Y'all have a great rest of the week.